Hello friends, my name is Type 1 and I'd like to welcome you back to our World Building Wednesday series. A series in which we dive into the world that I've been building for 15 years and counting. Now, last time that we spoke, we finished covering the mainland races of Penrose, ending with the Swamp Folk. We also covered the Bone Folk in that episode. Now, I do want to make a small amendment to the Kaolans real quick, because for those who are new to this and don't know my quote-unquote process, I just have my Google Docs account, and it has just been random files and folders for a bajillion million years, and there's so much stuff in there. It's honestly, if you ever wanted to take like an accurate representation of what the inside of my brain looked like, this Google Docs would be something similar. Just scattered thoughts and ideas and things that I need to do and notes and lists and projects and just a jumbled mess of creativity and responsibility and who knows what else might be in there. Now, for the Kaolans, now as we established, they are descendants of vampires and humans, a hybrid race that became its own thing. So, why is my caps lock on? That's weird. Alright, let's get back to let's lock in. A rare subset of Kaolans exist that, while displaying all of the normal traits, Kaolan also have large bat-like wings protruding from their back just below the shoulder blades. These winged few are such a rare anomaly. Their existence is most often spoken about through myths and rumors. So I'm adding this in here mostly because it's important for the story, but also because I think it's a neat little thing. It's just like a little very, very recessive hereditary trait from the vampires. As like some of them, very, very small, some of them can have wings, which I think is pretty sick. Alright, so let's see how we're doing this. Alright, so dude, I suddenly feel so stressed out talking about the rest of these guys. I don't know. It's like finishing anxiety, I guess. I get so nervous when I'm close to being done with something that a lot of times that I'll sometimes just not finish things. This has happened before. Like, it happens with shows, with games, with apparently with writing, with like just all kinds of things. It's weird. It's never happened to me in my memory with things like schoolwork or job work or anything like that. Like, I don't get this feeling from that. But maybe because those are things that were directed to me, and I have a clear indication of beginning and end and knowing where it's gonna go, unlike doing my own projects. But I think that's more than enough unpacking Type 1 psychology for the day. Because believe me, we dig into that box of worms, and I'm going to need therapy sessions, and y'all are going to know me a little more well than I would like, I think. Alright, so, the Neotilis. A race existing. I can't spell today, forgive me. It's been a while since I've sat down and like really typed anything at all, anywhere, for anything. Been like at least a week. Like since the last video, I think. race existing on the island of Palinki, which, throw back up here, hold on, give me a second. Where's it at? Up. There it is. Okay, so it's this island. This island here. It's got 2 races on it. School. Our descendants, a cat-like race, is driven from mainland Penrose with the arrival of human settlers and the, hold on, vampire threats or client. Vampire threat. The Nautilus. It's a bit of a tough word to spell. It also helps if I spell it right. A tribal race. A strict religion. What is it they worship? I'm trying to remember. It's been a while since I've done anything involving this part of my world. Here we go. A 2-faced warrior deity. We won't necessarily say it's a god, but... Oh, I forgot some words here. Due to their beliefs, they rely solely on nature to provide for them, while having knowledge of farming and animal husbandry. They choose to reject these ideas due to reject these ideas in exchange for a harsher hunter-gatherer style. In recent years, some of the youth have begun rebelling against these ideas, looking for a way to the future. Okay, so basically they're cat people, more or less. I mean, that's all you really need to know about them. We'll go more into them later when we get to that part of the story, but they're essentially just cat people. Okay, let's see. So the Marere, we're going to tweak them just a smidge here from the original concept. Hold on. Those are sending from a like seas. The Mariri are a strong warrior race. Believing, I can't spell. In progress. At any cost. In progress at any cost. While being the cousin race to the It's a shame I like the name Neodalis so much. Because it is hard to spell, dude. I keep forgetting how it's spelled. Being the cousin race to the Neodalis, the Marere are much more involved in things such as farming, animal husbandry, and even metalworking, having achieved something of a Bronze Age on the island. Despite relations with the Neodalis, look at that, I didn't even have to look at it to spell it right. Plus, the Marere have evolved to be let's not use that word, a hermaphroditic species capable of, and as such have developed a society where roles are chosen by individual rather than gendered, not stereotypes, what's the word? Rather than gendered assumptions. So basically, while the Neodalis are pure cat-like, the Marere are a bit more like hyenas. To a degree, they're inspired by hyenas. They're hermaphroditic, which they can be, which for those who don't know, this might be a bit of a no-no topic for YouTube, I don't know, but we're far enough from the video, I can say whatever I want. It is a hermaphrodite in biology is a being that has both male and female reproductive parts. So this species, now normally in that situation, not both of them would function. That's normal. It's a genetic mutation normally. There's not a lot of species. Actually, I don't think there's any species that are naturally found with both. There are some. Oh, goodness. Excuse me. I'll need some water. There are some species, especially if you know Jurassic Park, like frogs and stuff. There are species of frogs, reptiles, amphibians that are capable of swapping gender over their lifetime. Now these guys, they can just be either or, and they're fully functioning, capable of doing either deed that needs done, and as such, given that they're all physically the same, well, not, I mean, they look different, like there's, facial and physical differences, but gender-wise, they're all essentially the same. They're both at the same time. Their society has developed, kind of opposite of what we have in the real world. There's not an idea of there are roles for men and roles for women. Rather, the Marere believe in choosing the role you wish to have in life. You're not forced upon it just because of how you were born, essentially. Alright, and let's get to our last little fantasy race here. Boom, the Arakun. Now, these guys are something that I don't get to see a lot in fantasy stuff, which is partly why I included them in the first place. And that is spider people. You see it occasionally. Usually, the only examples I can really think of, sadly enough, is, like, Monster Musume, which is... It's like a guilty pleasure anime at best. And not a good example for, a fantasy setting, really, I don't think. I mean, because it's softcore porn, let's be real. And I want to say... Oh, no, you know what? I was thinking in the book series Fablehaven, there might have been a spider centaur type creature. I don't remember. But there was one in Spy Kids 2. I remember that. I don't remember if it was like a human spider centaur or if was that like a gorilla spider centaur. I don't quite remember. They had a lot of really cool monsters in that movie. Which, just like, goated movie, dude. Like, even if you don't like kids' movies or... Like, was that a Sam Raimi film? I can't remember. Even if you don't like kids' movies or those kinds of movies, I would still say check out Spy Kids 2. That movie's pretty sick. Even for a 25-year-old kid's film. The Arakun. Aww. What is this? What would you even call that biology? Because we're bipedal. So what would you describe a centaur as? I mean, would centaurs be considered quadrupedal? And then therefore these guys, given that they're spiders, would they be like octopedal? I don't know. Are a very unusual race found on the Black Isle. While all other known races... No, we'll say most. While most other known races have a male or female counterpart that relatively resemble each other, the Arakun display an extreme case of gender dimorphism. Let me make sure I'm picking the right term there, because I sometimes get my words mixed up. Let me just double check here. Let's see. Oh. Sad news article about starfish dying. Thank you, freaking... Whatever, man. Okay, yeah, that's the right word. So, gender dimorphism is generally... It's just the physical differences between a male and a female counterpart. There can be some pretty extreme ones. If you look at birds, for example, a lot of times you'll see two of a male and a female of a type of bird, and like you'll see a really like flamboyant, bright, beautiful bird, and that's the male. And then you look at the female, and it looks like an entirely different type of bird. Like there's no way these are the same type of bird, but they are. And that's probably a more extreme version, a more like edge case, like relatively speaking. At least for our world. Now, for the Arakun, let me just inform you. Gender dimorphism is one of my favorite concepts in biology. I think it's fascinating. And as I do with many scientific concepts, I push them to a fictional extreme, as you will see here with these folk. The females of these species greatly resemble normal humans, albeit with an extra set of eyes and dark sclera, but only from the waist up. From the oh, I totally used the wrong waist. Jeez Louise, dude, I'm cooked. I am cooked. You know it now. I am cooked. From the waist down, female Arukun have an arachnoid body, following that of a sleek armored spider. The males of the Arukun, on the other hand, are bipedal with thick... Let me make sure this is the right word, because I don't know what this stuff's called. What is this called? Okay, that's the word I need. Across the majority of their bodies, which that's like the kind of quote-unquote hair that tarantulas have. Just a heads up for those who needed to know. Which really, that's everybody. I shouldn't be using a weird word like that out of nowhere and I explain it, right? Across the majority of their bodies, including the delicate secondary set of arms they bear. While both halves of the race share... Oh, we should hold on. Along with the setae, I'm spelling it setae, and secondary arms, males also have retractable. Oh, jeez, I'm forgetting like everything I know about spiders. Shout out Google. Okay. Chelicerae. No wonder I forgot that word. That's a weird one. Retractable chelicerae. Which, that's what you call a spider's fangs. They're chelicerae. In their mouths, capable of dishing out a paralytic poison. While both halves of the race have also have the okay, let's just squeeze this in here. The same second set of dark sclera eyes, as well as with both halves of the race being so different, especially in, no, that doesn't matter. I was gonna say especially in like size, but that doesn't really matter here. Have found many ways to become codependent with each other in the ways they they support their people. The Aurukun are some of the finest fishers and architects in the world, with this only being possible by the strong bonds shared between genders. The females of the Aurukun are capable of how do we want dispelling? No, that's not the right word. Dispensing incredibly strong water-resistant webbing, while on their own are capable of weaving it. The delicate secondary arms of the males can use this webbing to its fullest potential in nets and lines for fishing, as well as supports, lifts, as well as supports and supports bindings. That's a good one. For architecture. So that's the Aurukun. They are a very codependent race. They rely on each other very tightly. To see, a lot of things in this story are like idealistic things that I wish humanity could do. You know, such as the Marere being able to choose a role in society without stereotypes about who or what they are, you know, being assumed out the get-go just because of how they're born. Like, people should be able to choose who they are. Or the Aurukun, who, despite the differences between people, are able to lean on each other and create greater things than they could by themselves. I have dreams of a better world. I do. But for now, they will stay as just words in a fictional story. And with that, folks, we have finished the races of Penrose. A whole heaping lot of them. We got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, with one of them being extinct. But we don't need to worry about that. That's fine. But there are 10 total, which I think is a pretty solid number. A pretty solid number. I feel kind of melancholy finishing this, but from here, we can start talking about... Oh, I don't know. What should be next? Yeah, we want to talk about the people before we talked about the places. So we'll probably do the places next. And then we'll do another one of these little intermission bits where we'll go and talk about characters. And then we'll do the last bit which is the one I'm looking forward to the most personally, and that is the creatures. Because as a monster fan of all kinds of monsters, dude, I have been all over this for years and years, making all kinds of creatures that I'm proud of, and I love them to death. And I just can't wait to share them all with you. In fact, those who were present for my live stream may have even gotten a chance to glimpse one. One of the commissioned images I have was used as one of my screens for streaming. So, if you were there for that, you got to see something cool. And if you weren't, then you missed out. Though there's a VOD if you want to check it out, of course. Plug here. Plug here. But until next time, folks, when we begin discussing the settlements of Penrose, I've been Type 1. And I wish you a good evening, morning, afternoon, and night. Bye-bye.